Hi guys, it is Aoife from Fred We See Died Laughing, and I'm here with my Irish Readathon TBR. As you may or may not know, myself and 3 other Irish booktubers are hosting the Irish Readathon this March, and it's going to be on for the entire month, and we also have some reading challenges to go along with it. But mainly the goal is just to read as many Irish books or Irish publishers as possible. So I have so many books to show you here. A lot of them do fit in with the challenges. The one specific challenge is Stephen's challenge, which is to read an Irish classic. I'll probably only be reading one book for that one, and that's going to be The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I do like to buy classics when I'm reading classics. I do like to buy some of the Wordsworth classic versions of them, and they all fit really nicely on my shelf, and they are normally very cheap as well. So when I get to the shop soon, that is what I'm going to be picking up. So I have a bunch of books, as I said, here to show you. Some of them are ones I 100% want to get to, some of them are others that I'm just hoping to get to, but obviously a lot of these here that I'm going to show you are also for recommendations for anyone who is wondering about what books they could pick up for the different challenges or for the Irish Readathon just in general. So one of the first books I'm going to show you is actually one that I did show for my February Feminist Lit February TBR. I just didn't get around to it, but it was one I wanted to read in March anyway, so I'm going to try and get that read this week. So kind of like the tail end of February, start of March, and that is Kathleen Clarke, Revolutionary Woman, and this is written by Helen Lytton, who is actually like distantly related to Kathleen Clarke as well, which is really interesting. So this is obviously has a little bit of green on the cover. It is written by a female author, and it is also based around historical events in Ireland, so it fits in with a lot of the challenges. Next book is a book that I actually received from Penguin Ireland in exchange for an honest review when I told them about this readathon, and it is Silence Under a Stone by Norman McMaster. And as you can see, this is a beautiful greeny gold cover, so it also goes for that one. Written by an Irish female author, and it's also published this year, so it has been published within the last 10 years. And this also takes place, it is about a woman on her kind of deathbed or in a nursing home, and she's thinking about her life basically, and she's thinking a lot about events that happened in 1920, and it's something to do with, I think she is from a Protestant family, and it's kind of something to do with the kind of Protestants and Catholic tension in Ireland at the time. So it also kind of is focused on Irish history as well. So the next one here is one that I was really happy to receive in exchange for an honest review. This is from an independent publisher in Ireland called Tramp Press, and it is called Orange Horses, and it's by Maeve Kelly, and this is basically a short story collection about Irish women, and I just have really high hopes for this one. I just think it's going to be really good. It's actually one I've had my eye on for quite some time, and I just had never gotten around to getting it, and Tramp Press were really kind enough to send this to me for review, so I cannot wait. I have 2 pretty interesting books here. I got both these from O'Brien Press in Ireland, and again in Irish publishers. One of them is Wild Irish Women. This is by Marion Broderick, and as you can see, it is just kind of an story collection about all these different women in history, Irish women in history, and I don't know, I'm just so excited to read this one. I think it's going to be really good. And another one is a little bit similar, but it's actually called Who's Feckin' Who in Irish History, and this one is by Colm Murphy, and this one is just like a really fun little book about just different historical figures. So I opened it up there on Grace O'Malley, who is actually an Irish pirate. Just has a few different pages on all these different people in Irish history, so this is one I feel like I can just flick through throughout the month. The next book is one I'm probably going to get to next week this week as well, and it's From a Low and Quiet Sea by Donal Ryan. Donal Ryan is a short story writer, so his stories are always pretty short, only like 150 pages or so, and he just is such an amazing writer. I really enjoyed a few of his other works that I've read. Ariel from Ariel Bassett is actually a huge fan of him as well, and she is highly anticipating this book coming out, which I love. And this one is a little bit about Syrian refugees coming to Ireland. Another book here that I want to get to is Married Quarters by Shane Connaughton, and this is one I think that is just about it's set in the 1950s, and it's about this kind of sergeant, so he's a guard, which is the police in Ireland, and it is something I think, I'm not really sure exactly what this is about, I don't know how to explain it properly, but I think it's just about his job being a guard, and then I think his son is also going to be a guard, and his son is kind of watching his father deal with stuff or something like that. It's like, I think it's just one of those really quiet novels about family and Irish families, something like that. To be honest, I don't really know. I'll obviously be able to tell you more when I actually read it. The next book here I received from Granta Books in exchange for an honest review, and that is The Early King and the Kid in Yellow. This is by Danny Denton, and this is a very interesting kind of post-apocalyptic / dystopian novel about a Ireland that is like flooded and almost underwater. I get it's something a little bit to do with like gang wars and stuff like that. So this one just really piqued my interest. I think I first saw Simon from Savage Books talk about this one, and I immediately got onto the publishers and asked if they would mind sending me a copy, and I explained about this readathon as well. They were very kind to do that. So very excited. I've heard some really good reviews on this one. Also particularly got a couple of books from the library. One of them is just this really cute short book, which is just Dublin Urban Legends by Brendan Nolan, and this is just a very short book just about all these funny kind of weird legends, urban legends in Dublin. And yeah, I have no idea really what to expect. I just think it's going to be a little bit of fun. And the next book here is one that I'm very interested to read, and it's called Half Irish by Peter J.S. Whoa. So this is just about a young guy who I think moves from New York to Ireland, and I think it's just him figuring out, I think, Irish culture and getting used to being in Ireland or something like that. But it does sound pretty interesting. I don't know, it's just something about this just really appealed to me. Some other books here that I would like to get to, but I don't know if I will get to. I'm just going to show you them really quickly. One is The Wonder by Emma Donoghue. I've heard mixed things about this one, but this one is actually set in Ireland, and it is, I think, a little bit to do with possibly changelings and stuff like this, so which always really interests me. I'm always interested to see how they're done, though Emma Donoghue is Irish. I think she'll do it well, so yeah. In Other Lands by Sarah Rees Brennan. If anyone knows me, they know that Sarah Rees Brennan is one of my favourite authors ever, and she also happens to be Irish, which is great. Have heard fantastic things about this book in terms of just, I think, queer representation. It's supposed to be really good in it. So, and like the cover in this is so gorgeous. I love it. So I am so excited to get to this one. Another book that I will hope to get to this month as well is Dog Tales by Andrea Hayes. This is actually a non-fiction book. Andrea did a TV show for an Irish channel, and she basically it was a little bit like kind of Paul O'Grady's Love of Dogs, where she was in Dogs Trust Ireland and finding out dog stories and seeing their like road to adoption and stuff like that. And this book is just kind of like a book version of that show, where she is just meeting different dogs and, you know, helping find their forever homes and finding about the owners who rescue them and how it all works out and stuff like that. So that one just sounds super cute. There are obviously some adorable pictures of dogs, and this is just one that I knew I always wanted to get, so I'm really glad to have it. Also have two books by Liz Nugent, who is like a Irish thriller author. I have Skin Deep, which is her new one, which is coming out in April, and I also have Lying in Wait by her as well, and I have already read her first book, which was Unravelling Oliver, which was pretty good. So I don't really know what these are about, because I kind of like to go into thrillers pretty blind, but yeah, I did really like Unravelling Oliver, so I think I will be very interested to see what these ones hold. I also want to try another Colin Tobin book, and that is Nora Webster. That just happened to be in the house, so I picked it up and was like, I'll be able to read this for the Irish Readathon. So yeah, I've heard pretty good things about this one too. And then one last one I've had for over a year now on my shelf, and it was like a really kind of weird like cover buy for me, and it was the Maker of Swans by Pádraig O'Donnell, and this one just sounds very interesting. It's just to do with a strange girl with some unusual gifts, but I'm not really sure exactly what it's about, but it sounds pretty good. I think it might be one of those really kind of odd books that could be like, I'll either love it or hate it, I don't know, but it does have a very pretty cover, which always, you know, is pretty great. So yeah, that is everything I hope to read. I do have some other books on my Kindle, but I haven't even gone through them yet, so yeah, I don't know. I have a lot to read here. I probably won't get to all of these, but we'll see. You'll see in the next coming weeks what I read and what I don't read, but yeah, hopefully I've given you some ideas as well about what you can read, what authors you could pick up, and stuff like that. So yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know if you guys are joining in. If you have TBRs, please link them below, because I would love to see them. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.